Uh-oh.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good?
Come on,
Okay.
I want to hear some vocal. Come on. There we go. All right, I'm going to try this again. I want to see if we can get everybody involved. How are you doing? Yay! That's so much better. I like that. Hi, if you don't know.
I need a drink.
I am pretty sure everyone in this room knows exactly who we are, but just in case, let's go down the line and introduce ourselves. I am Jen Brown. I am the voice of Pyranikos. I am also Lisa Lavender, and you can also catch me in Red vs. Blue as Agent Carolina. And you can also check out my podcast called Women in Caskets, which is all about horror movies from a feminist perspective.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Arryn Zech. I voice Blake Belladonna and Dr. Emily Gray. I'm very soft-spoken. Shut up, Arryn.
I'm what's left of Vic Mignogna. And you can catch me in a documentary about alcoholics in caskets. I play Uncle Crow in RWBY.
Hi, I'm Josh Grelle. You can catch me in a psycho ward. If you run fast, yeah. I play Tyrion Kalos in RWBY.
That's just so astonishing to me.
I love hearing that. That's fun.
So,
Oh, well, yeah.
so what are we doing?
Yeah.
We're talking to them.
Oh my God.
Or we're talking to each other, and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
kind of
And
voyeuristically
they enjoy
watching
it.
and listening.
For some reason.
So,
Do we just
Arryn.
pretend they're not there?
So.
Like,
Just talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, there's no big
So,
deal.
yesterday,
How did you guys get involved? I'll just kind of start us, and then we'll include anything. You guys start thinking of questions. Is there a mic for questions, or did we steal all the microphones? Not ready yet.
Not ready yet.
We're building it.
Yes.
he forgot to put on his
How did you guys
makeup.
get involved in Rooster Teeth and
That's
the
a great
shows?
start. I've told this story a bunch, so I'm sure like half of the people in here have already heard it, but I will try to tell it as short as I can. I used to work with Anna Hullum, and she would always talk about her husband's company, Rooster Teeth. She's of course married to Matt. And she knew I was an actor, and she'd be like, oh, you need to work with them, like, I think y'all get along really well. And fast forward 2 years later, I saw an audition post for Rooster Teeth, and I was like, oh, that's the company for that woman. And I went in, I send them my stuff, my resume, my headshot, all that, and just added like a tiny little note being like, oh, P.S., I know Anna, like, it's so cool to see this pop up, like, how neat. Well, fast forward, I get the audition, and I guess all they read was the P.S. and didn't pay attention to the fact that I'm actually an actor and attached my resume and my headshot. So they thought I was just like Anna's friend. So Matt and Bernie were not paying attention to me whatsoever. And then when I started talking, I just see Bernie go, and like scrambles for my headshot and goes, wait, you're an actor? And I was like,
Thanks.
yeah, kind of why I'm here. And they were like, oh, great, okay, cool. And then they told me afterwards that as soon as I opened my mouth, they knew that I was their Carolina.
Yeah.
Long story, but a fun one. And Anna always gets upset because she's like, why would they doubt my judgment? Obviously, I was right,
like Anna.
because you use her all the time now.
That totally sounds like Anna.
Yeah, she always gets mad about it. She's like, Bernie.
I went to the University of Texas with a lot of the new crowd of Rooster Teeth people, like Brandon, Lindsay, Miles, Kyle, all of them. So I just happened to have them as my friend base, and I would be at the office all the time, far too often, because I had nothing else to do as a barista. Life was really going great for me. And Monty was like, I know you. You're an actress. I'm doing this thing. You're gonna do this thing. So I was like, okay, cool. And then we made it official. And it's just kind of progressed from there. And then I got Red versus Blue. I actually auditioned for Red versus Blue. That wasn't just a kind of thing. So, yeah.
I love your Dr. Gray.
Oh, thank you.
I love Dr.
I was
Gray
so
so
excited to be able to do something that wasn't just like already on my register.
Yeah,
It was great.
she's totally crazy, and I love
Yeah,
crazy. So
I love her.
that character.
She's pragmatic also. She's layered.
And
like
I
an
like
onion.
we have a scene together.
We do. I
This
totally
season.
forgot about this too. I was
In
like,
Red
you know,
versus Blue.
because Pyrrha and Blake never really like interact with each other. But I forgot that Dr. Gray and Carolina are just like, we're best friends.
Well,
Aren't you so glad we're best friends?
that's not how I remember that scene going. I remember
I don't know what you're talking
Carolina
about.
being thoroughly freaked out by you.
No. Dr. Gray is great.
Carolina's not scared by a lot.
Yay!
Let's just say Dr. Gray
I
might be
did
one of
it.
the few things that unsettles Carolina just a little bit.
That makes me feel special.
Well, that's about all we have time for. So thanks so much for coming. You know what? I just had an anniversary, a Rooster Teeth anniversary.
Oh yeah?
Last weekend, I was in Perth, Australia,
Woo!
and was doing a couple of shows there. And as soon as I walked into the hotel lobby in Perth, I was like, I remember this hotel layout, and it was where I met Lindsay and her husband 3 years ago at Supernova, where they pulled an iPad out of their backpack and asked me if I would take a look at these images from a show they were working on. And they showed me some images of RWBY and a video of her fighting. And I thought, I had no idea who they were. I didn't even know what Rooster Teeth was, but the stuff they showed me was really beautiful. And so a couple of weeks after we got back from the States, they contacted me and said, hey, would you like to play a role in that thing we showed you? And I said, sure. And so I auditioned for Uncle Crow, and the moment I opened my mouth, they asked me to leave. No, actually, no, yeah, they just said, we want you to play this character. And they sent me some drawings of him. And I said, well, I can throw some different ideas at you on what you might want him to sound like. And they picked the one that is used now. So that was how I got involved. And I have had the best time. I love these people, all the people that make it. And I'm kind of jelly of these guys because they come together in Austin and record the episodes. And I live in LA, so I have to record all of my lines alone in my room, trying to pretend what it would be like to be hanging out with them.
We also
You always
record
forget-
our stuff alone.
You always forget that I'm in LA with you.
Well, yeah, there's that.
We never hang out.
I know, but you know what I mean. Like
I
a
do.
lot
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
people,
yeah.
Rooster
I
Teeth is in
originally-
Austin,
I was there
and
OG.
everybody, yeah.
Yeah,
And a
yeah.
lot of the other people are there. So I don't. Do you record your stuff and send it in, or do you go to Austin?
I go to a place called the Dub Room on
I know
Sunset.
Deborah. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I go.
So that's how I got
I
involved.
record it in the studio.
How about you, boss?
But I live there, so.
Yeah.
I'm just a big nerd. My high school can be summed up with two shows, Dragon Ball Z and Red versus Blue. So like it was just really surreal to suddenly see in my inbox one day from my agent this audition site for RWBY and stuff and some other stuff from Rooster Teeth, and I was just like, yes, please. And
You-
so like.
You remind me of Gabriel Iglesias, and I'm in love with it. I've just been being like, oh. Okay, I'm sorry, go on.
Thank you. I'm all flustered now. So like yeah, it was just crazy cool to finally get to get a chance to like just audition and stuff. Like I didn't get a chance to go down and actually see Rooster Teeth's headquarters. I hope I get to change that for whenever Tyrion comes back. But it was just surreal, and I didn't even get to see their faces while they were directing me. It was just over Skype and stuff.
You hear nothing, and they're like, okay, that was great. Can you do it one more time? And you don't know how their faces are. You're just like, was it actually great? Like, are they just looking at each other like, what was that?
I know.
You don't know.
So like every time and we kept getting like errors too, like the Skype feed would freeze a little bit. Like they would say like, because they had video and they could see me. So like anytime the video, they would say like, hang on, our video's frozen, I would immediately just put my face in the camera. So the moment it caught up again, it was just me just making faces.
Oh my god, I love that.
So it's fun to play with them that way. Like,
that is kind of what's great about working with Rooster Teeth is that they are a big bunch of dorks.
Oh yeah.
They're all on your level.
There's so many cutting floor outtakes from recording sessions. I don't know if they'll ever release half of the crap that comes out of my mouth when I'm recording with them.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously, and I think that's part of what I'm lucky is that I live in Austin, so I get to go in and record. So I get to have that one-on-one and like these silly experiences with Jordan and Miles and everyone, you know.
Oh yeah, you do Camp too, don't you?
Oh yeah, Camp is what I have the most fun.
I'm so jealous
of
that.
recording Camp.
Jordan, if you're watching this, don't be so rude. Give me
I'll
an
remind
audition.
Jordan. I'll remind Jordan of your
I'm
beautiful
too afraid
existence.
to talk to Jordan.
Why? Jordan's so funny. Camp's so great. I love it.
Okay.
I've heard a little bit about that. It seems like it's really a fun thing.
Oh,
it's hysterical.
It's so fun.
I have an idea for a character.
Yeah. is he drunk?
He's a camp counselor, but he's drunk all the time.
You basically want to be the quartermaster.
Oh, darn it. It's already been cast.
No, not even camp counselor. You're just a drunk drifter that comes through the camp every once in a
Oh,
while,
it
right?
just shows up.
Have you seen my niece? Have you seen my niece?
Have you seen my niece?
Oh, if there was like a crossover of Ruby and Camp, have you seen my niece?
Who's that 50-year-old guy living in our
What's
camp?
happening? Who in
Let's
camp
play
camp?
kickball.
Who in camp? Who
Let's do
voices-
crafts.
Who voices the girl in camp that everything she does sounds like that?
That's me.
That is freaking brilliant. I was like, look at his sweat glistening in the moonlight. I'm just like, I
wait,
love
no, you're talking
whoever.
about Flower Scouts.
Oh, yes, yeah,
No,
in camp. Okay.
similar. I'm Arryn. Similar.
okay.
Oh my god. No, Flower Scouts is Sam Ireland.
Okay.
That's Nora. Nora does the Flower Scouts. I love the Flower
It's
Scouts.
hilarious.
Yeah, the Flower Scouts are like the high of the like, oh my god, and then Arid is the like way too cool, like whatever.
Is it Arid?
No, Arid. Short for Meredith. I've got two gay dads, and they're so cool. It's like my favorite aspect of her character is like, these are my two cool gay dads.
I like that they're specifically gay dads. Just in case you weren't sure.
Yeah, in case you weren't sure. She couldn't just
They're
be
gay.
dads. So like, she has to be like, gay dad. In case you didn't get it.
I think the mic's working now, so if you have a question, you can come over to the microphone.
Hello, Ruby.
Hey,
Have
kid.
you cut anyone's tail off today?
Did she cut your tail off? Rude. Oh, I was shocked when I found that out. I was watching it, I was organically watching it.
Oh my god.
Because I only read my bits because I like to get excited about the show. And so the second the Tyrion came out the tail, I lost my shiz.
Surprise!
It was so good.
I love it.
Question.
Yes, sorry.
Hey,
I'll
kid,
shut up.
what's your question?
First of all, does it work?
No.
It does not work apparently.
Well, they didn't build
First
it
of all, does it
properly.
work?
Well, they finished
I'll
building
be your
it.
translator.
They just forgot to put.
Is the
Well,
mic
we can
hot?
hear you.
Is it on?
I have a really good idea.
Do it, Vic. I believe in you.
Talk really loud, too.
Ask a question! Ask a question! Traumatizing children for 25 years.
First of all, it was your fault that you got your tail cut off.
Well, that's just victim blaming.
He started it. I just wanted to ask. Sorry, I'm getting flustered.
Yes.
What are your favorite parts of voicing Ruby? Like your
I don't
favorite.
voice Ruby. sorry.
You know what she meant.
I have a lot of fun with these things because I don't get out much.
Introvert.
I just woke up from a nap too. That should say something.
Slap happy.
What are our favorite parts? Or was that?
Yeah, favorite parts about recording
Or
RWBY.
can I?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I'll go. I can stand here.
I'm aware my dress is mildly see-through.
I love it. It's so pretty. Just like your favorite
What
voice
happened?
lines and like your favorite ways to your favorite scene that you liked about voice. I'm sorry, I'm flustered.
No. Okay.
Favorite
scene to voice.
That
right?
favorite scene that you liked to voice.
Okay.
So your favorite scene, I guess. All right, don't look under my skirt. You don't
You're
have
the
to.
one who actively wore that, Arryn.
I
so-
love this dress. I'm not gonna stop loving myself. So because of my dress. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I always say this because I always give the same answer, but it's my favorite, so it shouldn't change, right? I really, really loved getting to voice the Pyrrha speech at the dance with Jean when she's on the roof and she's talking about how hard it is because she gets put on this pedestal. I've always really identified with that speech. Wow, that is a crazy screeching noise. Sorry, the feedback. I don't know where the feedback's coming from.
Well, this monitor's over here, so it might be catching mine.
Oh, it might be okay. There's also a monitor right here, so it might be me too. Either way, I've always really identified with that portion, and so I just really loved getting to do that. I love what they wrote. I love the words. Everything about it was absolutely my favorite.
I really enjoyed the scene at the end of I think volume 5, where I should preface I'm going to talk about the show. So if you're not up to date on it, sorry. When Blake's house is just burning down, basically, she did it to herself. All right, someone say my joke back at me. Because up until then, all of the emotional scenes that Blake has, and she's got a lot where she's just like talking about how miserable everything is for herself. It's just really like angsty teen stuff that I can do really well. Like I could cry right now and it wouldn't be hard. So having to do a scene where she's actually getting a whole group of people together that doesn't know her like personally and having to progress in this like giant monologue. Like each section has to be different. There has to be growth. There has to be like it has to be captivating instead of just like whiny Blake. So that was a lot of fun to do because it was an actual challenge for me.
The guys, all of you that are in line right now waiting to ask a question, go ahead and have a seat on the floor so that all the people behind you can see the stage. You know what I mean? Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Rest your feet, Thief.
Thank you.
Gummy.
I just really love playing. I love the voice that they chose, that they wanted me to do for Crow, because he's really easy. As far as like, when you lose your voice, like, it's at the end of a convention when you've really thrashed your voice.
Yeah.
The first thing you lose is your high tone. The clearer, higher tone, and your voice gets real thick and low. And so even if I've been at an event or lost my voice, I can always do Crow. So I love the voice that they chose for me to do. And believe it or not, like I've never been drunk a day in my life. So it's funny playing a guy that's drunk all the time. So that's kind of fun.
What was it was favorite lines or things that I really enjoyed doing the Tyrion breakdown at the end of that season.
Yeah,
that
my
was
favorite.
that was cathartic. That was therapy. And it was like at the end it was at the end of like an hour-long session of recording all of the fight stuff between me and Crow. So like then at the end of it I got to do this really cathartic just breakdown stuff. And yeah, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. And like any character that I get to do a psycho laugh but also has some depth to him is a lot of fun. Like just those over the top villains because they don't have any rules. And so like with Tyrion I really can just play and see what works and see what doesn't. And he ends up going to some pretty fun places. But that breakdown scene was challenging and therapeutic, and I couldn't talk for 3 days afterwards, so I got to eat all the ramen I wanted.
Oh my
and
God.
it was great. So yeah, it was. That's my favorite so far.
I have
That's
to say,
awesome.
you're like my favorite villain.
Thank you.
I don't think the microphone works either.
Oh, it stopped working
Still,
again?
it's
Yeah,
not
okay.
working.
Dang.
Sorry.
Is it
But-
really?
Do
Oh
you-
my gosh.
Ask your question and project, sir.
Is that an Alliance T-shirt?
Yes it is.
Nice.
My friends in the old horde.
For the Horde. No, I know.
I was wondering, you mentioned cutting room floor earlier. I was wondering if there were any lines from that you kind of regret not being in the show?
From
Show?
what? I'm sorry.
They weren't necessarily, I'm not talking about cutting room floor as far as like lines that got cut from the show. I mean like outtakes, just us
Goofing
goofing
off.
off in the booth, saying
Yeah.
things we shouldn't say in character voice.
Oh yeah. Having Blake
That's the
curse,
most fun.
like
Yeah,
TV
oh,
Blake
yeah.
cursing.
Kira has gotten kind of dirty in the booth for fun.
That sounds suggestive.
So that's existing somewhere on their files. I don't think they'll ever release it. They probably just listen to it for fun and go,
Sure. Someone's brought it home.
Miles probably has it.
God.
It's gonna play at the Rooster Teeth Christmas party.
But yeah, lots of things like that, and just doing silly voices. And I think in one of my very first sessions there, we were like goofing around. I always like to do like my goofy voice, but say like really inappropriate things, and so that's probably recorded somewhere. Like it's just like lots of like silly stuff, lots of just blowing up. Once you get the recording done, you've got all the lines. There's still time. Just knock around for a little bit.
If I was recording in the booth with everybody in Austin, I've done it a couple of times, and it's definitely extended my session by at least like 20 minutes every time.
Oh yeah, Shannon and I were lucky enough to record together for season 15 of Red vs. Blue. Shannon and I actually got to record in the same booth for the first time. That was awesome. Although, funnily enough about that, they hadn't set up the mics yet to where they could be side to side, so we were in the booth together, but we were back to back. So it was kind of like, what's the point? Like, we can't look at each other. So like, in between after we did like an exchange, like Shannon and I would look at each other, like turn around and be like,
Really dramatic.
But that was really fun getting to do that, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we now have the microphone working.
Oh,
So
cool.
step on up there. What's your question?
So, question for
You're a little bit taller than the mic.
I see that. Question for you, Jen. What's your favorite part about voicing Carolina?
Just getting to play a super varied, badass character. My favorite part, honestly, is the evolution of her and the fact that I've been given the freedom to help evolve her a little bit. And she started off as this kind of one-dimensional-ish, stereotypical badass kind of lady. And as the seasons have progressed, we have seen the change in her and gotten to see her become a little softer and get to actually like create friendships. And now we get to see her be kind of goofy every once in a while. She's not very good at it, but she tries. Yeah, and that's my favorite thing about her is just being able to grow. And as an actor, getting that opportunity where you get a part and then you actually get to like help with the evolution of the character, I mean, that's just a blessing. It's wonderful. Every actor wants to be able to do that and put their mark on a character like that. That's just, in general, that's my favorite part, is just being able to be there for the journey of Carolina. And, well, and y'all, like, the fans, like, are so amazing. Seriously, I feel beyond lucky, and it blows my mind every day that I get to sit in this chair and talk to people like you. It's insane. Thank you. Thank you for letting us do this. Like, thank you so much, all of you. Seriously. It's the best.
And in your opinion, does she miss church?
She does. She misses church a lot. she loved church. Church was very important to her. You know, they had their issues, but they were close. You know, that was probably the closest relationship she had since York. And now Shannon, well, I say Shannon because I'm just so used to saying Shannon, but Washington, and now we're getting to see her rekindle this sort of like friendship, maybe more with Washington, which I really love seeing that too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi.
So, question for Arryn, was voicing Blake in the BlazBlue game a altogether different experience?
Yes.
And for Vic, when are we getting Crow?
Oh gosh, that would be cool, hey?
I would love that.
Yeah, no, it was 3 hours of screaming to various degrees, and it was like they were all lines that Blake would technically say, but would never actually say.
Oh, I know, it's hard when it's like
those,
that.
Like, cheesy, like, one-liners, just like, I'm still reading. Like, girlfriend, you're in the middle of a fight. You know you're not going to be reading. And then it's just like, scream really long. Scream like you're getting electrocuted. Scream like you've just fallen off a large cliff. And it's just 3 hours of very into screaming.
Do a light punch. Okay, do a medium punch.
Yeah.
Okay, do a heavy punch.
I love that.
Okay, now do a happy light punch.
Yeah. Okay, you fell on the ground. Wait, now you fell from 10 feet. Now you fell from 20 feet. Now you fell from 40 feet and you hit a rock on the way down and you broke your leg.
Yeah. And then you were electrocuted mildly.
And your taxes is late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh, I know
Having-
exactly what sound you're asking for there.
I think having Crow would be kind of funny. He'd be like the drunken master.
I would love to do it. I've heard really good things about the game.
Yeah,
So I would
I've
love
not
to.
played it. I just screamed for 3 hours.
Write letters.
This question's for Jen. I'm sorry that it's kind of like the main person we're picking, but for Pyrrha.
Apologize to me.
Sorry to all you guys. For Pyrrha, we all know they're based off somebody. She was based off of like Greece and just things of that era. With season 3 and season 4, there's a lot of parallels to Julius Caesar, Et tu Brute, and then you have Do You Believe in Destiny? And then in season 4, she comes back as like an ethereal, like a not as a, it's the video of Jean.
Oh, the video. I was like, she doesn't come back.
Yeah, and in Act 4 of Julius Caesar, Caesar comes back. Were you like knowing of those parallels and did that influence you
Yes,
at all?
well, she's actually specifically based on Achilles.
Thank you.
She's a female Achilles. So that's why the heel
Yeah.
in the
We
big
all saw
fight,
that.
we
You
all
gave
saw
us a
that.
specific frame.
Yeah. So, yeah, she was totally based on Achilles. So anyone that is familiar with the story totally understood what was going to happen to me, because it's kind of obvious as far as in Pyrrhic victory, the actual definition of what that means, and then being based on Achilles in general is pretty obvious what was going to happen. I think a lot of people were in denial about that and kind of hoping that wouldn't be the case. But yeah.
Do you think
it was all
that means
planned?
that means Jean's gonna die?
I don't know.
Don't be booing at me. Jean's based off of Joan of Arc, who was a
martyr.
A martyr.
Yeah. I know the thing is, I know they're not following the story
Yeah.
to the letter
Yeah.
of every single inspiration.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah,
So
well-
they happen to follow it with my character, but they're not doing that with everyone. So I don't think they'll ever kill Jean.
Yeah, no, I don't
Jean will
either.
probably never die. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Just like a
Whoa! Everyone is like, how about you like broke this crowd, Eric? Everyone's like,
Yeah, there's like a murmur in the crowd now.
I know. I mentioned killing Jean at my panel yesterday, and everyone was like, how could you? Like it was like I had just blasphemed or something. It was so funny.
It's
It was
just
like,
a boy.
It's just a boy. Like, come on. I feel like so connected. I love it.
You know, I have a feeling that if Blake died, this would not be the response it would get.
Yes. No, people, are you kidding me? People love you, girl. People
my
would
God.
not be okay with your
Yeah.
death. People would not be okay with it. I promise you.
You hear that, Rooster
I do cons with you, baby. People love you.
Rooster Teeth can't kill me. Yeah, the microphones are definitely getting louder. It's kind of crazy.
And what is your question, lovely?
Yes, this question is for all of you. I just want to know, when you're up there and you're voice acting, your characters that you play, is it kind of
let's say from Vic's point of view, when he's voicing Broly, he has to sound very angry and aggressive. And times where you're voicing characters in RWBY, like it's hard for you to switch tones from happy, sad, frustrated, and all that. Is it kind of hard to switch tones when you're voice acting?
Well, I think that probably goes to all of us with the background in acting that we have. You work on developing characters and playing characters that go through a wide range of emotions. And that's why most of the voice actors that you know are actors, first and foremost, because they have spent time studying and learning and practicing and auditioning and getting cast in things to play different kind of characters who go through all kinds of different emotions in a story. Um, Fortunately, I won't do like Broly on the same day as I do Crow, or you don't have to jump back and forth between characters. So you can kind of get into a zone of a particular role and you kind of live in that character and you be that guy until the recording session is over.
Does anybody have anything to add, or is that about?
No, yeah.
I will say occasionally, I know with Rooster Teeth.
You do a few in one.
I do a few, but usually it's you do one character, take a break, you do the other. And if you're doing multiple characters in one session, you always start with the easiest voice, and then you end with the most difficult. So like when I do voices for DC Universe Online, I usually go in and record at least 5 characters at a time, and they always start with my the stuff that's not so straining on my voice. Like, random person on the street being like, don't go down that corner, like, whatever. And then I'll end with, like, my harpies, which is like all the really gross, growly stuff that's super straining on your throat. So they definitely pace it out to kind of help your throat. If you're doing a really long session, they tend to do a pretty good job of making sure that you stay protected.
Yeah. I did have to do an excited Blake for Chibi, where she meets her favorite author. And then right after that, in the same session, I had to do Dr. Gray, who came back after like 3 seasons. And I'm like, what? And so that was kind of awful because I couldn't, all of my Blake would start to sound like Dr. Gray. And it was so incredibly frustrating. And it was probably the worst session that I've ever had. It turned out fine, obviously, but I hated it, and I had breakfast tacos afterwards to make myself feel better.
Oh, breakfast tacos always make you feel
And fortunately, Broly does not have a lot of emotional. You're not going to find a happy Broly. You're just, there's not sad Broly. There's he's kind of a one-note guy.
Well, that is true, but there is timid Broly. I mean, it's not easy finding a big guy who has to look down on a man who's got a receding hairline every time he looks at him. I mean, honestly, every time we see you, you always complain saying how you're not the strongest fighter in the universe. Look who else is complaining.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Gotcha. Bridge. Thanks, man.
Okay,
Thank you, though.
I gotcha.
Thanks, man.
I don't
Question?
watch TV. Yes, I do. Shut up, Aaron.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. What's your favorite volume from RWBY that you've ever?
Oh, I thought you were gonna ask my favorite volume. Well, I like 15. It's a good neutral.
Like that you've ever voiced or even watched?
I really like season 2, cause we get to live in a fantasy land in season 2 and just pretend that everything's okay and that season 3 never happened. It never happened. Ever.
I like volume 5 because I finally get to do things. Grow, live.
You too? I like volume 5 because it means that I didn't die at the end of volume 4. That's why I like 5.
Just rubbing it in. Everybody here gets to live. Good for you. I don't want that. You take your. Okay, I'll take your rose.
I'll take it.
That's
are
coming in
still
season
alive.
6.
Yes. Yes, Lisa Lavender's
Crow
still
eats
alive.
flowers.
But Lisa Lavender's only had like 2 scenes in 5 seasons. So I would love to do more Lisa Lavender. She's my favorite. Like my favorite next to Graham Graham. My 2 favorite voices I've done for Rooster Teeth have only had like 2 lines.
So like the character that you're talking about that was killed. Were you killed?
Pyrrha, yeah.
Pyrrha. 2 seasons, right?
In season 3.
Okay,
The
but
end. It was
you
the big
did 2
catalyst.
seasons with that character?
3 seasons.
3 seasons. Look at how they love you.
Oh, I know.
I mean, you know what I mean? No,
Oh,
seriously.
I just like to tease because it's funny to
Here's
be
a
all
question.
butthurt about being
Here's
dead.
a question for the actors on stage. I have a question for the actors on stage.
Okay. 7.
Would you rather... Yeah, we're playing that game. Would you rather play a hugely popular role for 1 episode or a blasé character for 100 episodes?
You know, that's a real interesting question you pose here, Vic.
Okay.
I like to get paid.
That was literally just what I was going to say. Was like, you know what? I take the smaller part because it comes with more money.
Yep.
And in voice acting, money is not something that you get very often.
Did I mention I was a barista?
Yeah.
No, but
I'm
you're
going to
totally
be the
right.
odd man out, and I'm going
No.
to say I would prefer to
You-
play a small role that is very
You
well
are-
loved and
you
very
are
popular.
absolutely right.
I think that's really special.
No, it is.
You know what, you guys?
It
You know what?
absolutely
You know how we are really lucky to be a part
Oh,
of RWBY.
completely. Oh my
Because
gosh.
you know what? I mean, I've been doing this 20 years and hundreds of shows, and you could play characters your whole career and never get a role
Oh, I know.
that is really loved.
I know,
Sure,
yeah. It blows
you'll
my
pay
mind
your
every
bills.
day. It really
You
does.
know, sure, you'll pay your bills, and you'll get to do a lot of work. But there's something, you know, it's like, you know, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. You know what I mean? How many actors will never get a Luke Skywalker role?
For
you
me,
know what I
he's
mean?
always the Joker.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be the Joker if he wasn't Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't even know who he is.
Yeah.
So you get that one role that is, you know, and it's so neat to be able to play a character.
Oh
that,
no, I was just being
No,
silly
no,
about
I'm
the money
just saying,
thing.
isn't
but
it cool
no.
that they love it so
Are you
much?
kidding me? It is absolutely insane to me. Like I was saying earlier, ridiculous.
Yeah.
That this is the position we get to be in. It's great.
Still that kind of.
Yeah.
Is this real life?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, how am I
You're
living?
pinching your cheeks for that instead of your arm. Is this real life? I'm cute.
So we're extremely grateful that you guys have enjoyed them as the characters and RWBY as you have, because it's hit or miss. There are lots of shows out there, right? And some of them, some of them hit and some of them don't.
It was my first one.
The fact that you support it means that we can make more, so thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you for bringing us to Memphis. I
We love you.
Whenever I hear someone say that, I just think of Bo Burnham. Be like, no, you don't. I love the idea of you. This is not a participatory. Sorry, I've seen it a lot.
Your
What is
turn,
your
lady.
question?
Okay, so there's this RWBY theory going around that Crow is actually Ruby's father.
No.
I've heard of that. And I think it's interesting.
That's really. Wait, didn't we hear that in Australia? Probably. I think that was the first time I heard it.
So I just want like your opinion on it, or like
I think it's interesting. Yeah, I could see it as
Or like-
plausible.
I've heard that. I've heard that. So let me ask you a question. Do you think Ruby's awesome?
yes, she's my favorite character. I want to cosplay her one day whenever I can.
Then it's a possible theory. No, I think it's. I don't know if it's true or not, but certainly there won't be any commenting on it. But it's an interesting theory to be sure.
It is interesting.
Okay, this is for Tyrion.
Yes, hello.
Okay, so one, Salem's not upset with you. Don't worry. And two, I think I found a tail for you.
Could you imagine Tyrion with a little fluffy tail?
Oh my God. So funny.
Wait, does this thing like move?
No, it actually lights up.
Oh, it lights up.
A glowing fluffy tail?
It's voice activated.
Oh.
I'm coming for you, Crow. Get your tail off me!
You win the day. Oh, that's so good.
Rematch! I can't, yeah? You sure? Sweet.
He'll get it right back to you.
This just reminds me of cat.
Yeah, nice tail.
You saucy minx.
I groom it daily.
Next question.
Hello.
Do you know any voice actors do you think are a lot like the characters they voice act? This is for everyone.
Voice actors that have similar voices, or that we
Like
think
they're
are like
a
the
lot
character?
like the character, like personality-wise.
I'm like my
The ones that
character.
they play, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I'm like Blake.
Yeah, Arryn is a lot like Blake.
She wears see-through clothing too.
Yeah.
I have to at least like let everyone know that I'm aware of it, because if you can make fun of yourself, then no one else can make fun of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're like Blake. I feel like I'm kind of the perfect amalgam of Pyrrha and Carolina smushed together.
I thought you were gonna say Harley Quinn. I was gonna be so excited.
Well, actually, if you took all three and shoved them together, that would actually be more
actually-
accurate. But
Case in point.
yeah, case in point. I personally don't identify as just one, but I feel like I'm a really good amalgamation of both.
I'm going to give you a real actor answer. A good actor will find something in every character that they identify with.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like
Or
some
can at least like understand, like
yeah,
how
some
that-
connection,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
some connection that you can relate to. Yeah.
What they said.
Good input.
I'm trying to think like too many correlations. I have no friends, and I didn't.
That is not true. We text.
I've got 3 friends. And then in high school, some girl really liked me, but I had no idea. That's actually true. That's Ilya. I'm good. Never mind. You guys are the worst.
Thank you, sweetie. Question?
This is for all of you, but I wanted to ask, what do you find is the greatest challenge as a voice actor?
Josh, why don't you start?
I don't know. Sometimes it can be a little hectic, especially because so much of our work is cold reading. There's no rehearsal. We don't get scripts, months in advance. Sometimes RWBY is the exception. I mean, like we.
No, it's not.
Sometimes
No,
well, we don't get it months
It's like
in advance or
a
anything, but like
day.
I at least got like an episode. Like I got the full episode, like to be able to look over and research it, like a few days before my actual session. But like
Must be
that, right? But
That's
most
nice.
of the time that's not the case. Whenever we go in, it's always the first time we're seeing it, and we have to perform it as if we are very intimate with the material, in order to make it believable. So a lot of that just that really just comes with experience, I think, and that's kind of the first real challenge that I think newer voice actors have is finding that, honing that skill and that instinct to be able to just go in and confidently be able to read something even though it's the first time you've seen it.
Yeah, totally.
I would just say in general, not specifically, but just in general, probably the biggest challenge in acting is getting a job.
That was what I was gonna say.
That's
You know, I mean,
Yeah, getting the job.
you know,
yeah.
you guys, there are dozens of vocations that you could study in school and you get a job. I mean, it's a simple equation. You learn the skill, you get the degree, you get a job. But acting and a lot of creative fields are not like that. You don't even have to have a degree. If you're a great actor and you get in front of a director, he's like, I want you. He doesn't say, well, I'd really like to cast you, but you don't have a degree in theater, so I can't. No, if you're right for the role, you get cast. But it's really challenging, and it's hard. That's the hardest part, is getting a job. Most actors spend more time auditioning for jobs and looking for jobs just because they have to act.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
something that's inside them, and they have to do it. And so that's the biggest challenge. Is that it's not easy to find the work.
The rejection.
Yeah.
Or not even hearing anything.
Like 90% of the job is getting told no all the time, constantly, over and over, all the time. You're not good enough.
Yeah.
We don't want you. You're not good. Stop doing this. Like it's most of what you get. So you have to have a very tough skin and a lot of confidence to just keep going back after getting punched down over and over again.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy, and luck plays a massive part in it. A lot of people don't like to talk about that. They just act like you work hard and you get it and you deserve it, but that is not the case.
Nope.
Luck plays a huge part. You got to be talented, but luck definitely comes in.
And knowing people too.
And knowing people,
Like networking is definitely
Networking.
something. Like
Luck, who you know, and being easy to work with.
Being easy. Being a nice person.
Just this past, I've done maybe 300 auditions, just like from my closet, and I've heard nothing.
Yeah.
I did 3 auditions on Friday. I'm probably not going to hear anything. So it's either hearing no or hearing nothing.
Nothing. Oh, and that's the other thing. Usually you don't even hear no. You just get nothing.
Yeah.
Like nothing. No notes. No what? Just you could have almost gotten it, and you would have no idea because they just do not tell you 90% of the time. Like rights is like a thing where you almost book something. But then they don't have to tell you if you didn't actually book it, so it's like really extra painful. It's just a lot of rejection. That is definitely the hardest part, is that you just have to have a tough skin. You have to get used to being told no over and over and over and over again.
It's not even just rejection from the people you're auditioning for. If you are in a show, then now the world is allowed to have an opinion on you. And sometimes it's not a very nice opinion.
Yep.
So you've got to be able to take that as well.
Isn't it interesting, you guys? I thought about this once. Isn't it interesting that a lot of people, when they're young, they gravitate toward theater and they want to get involved in acting, and because they're insecure and they want to kind of be somebody else, and they want to kind of, they desperately want an audience to laugh at their jokes and to clap for them and to encourage them. Isn't it interesting that those people would actually gravitate to the career where you are constantly rejected?
I know, it's so weird.
Isn't that, think about that.
I know,
That, that you actually choose a career where you're constantly being told you're not good enough.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
We're crazy. We're legitimately insane. Like,
or being told, depending on the type of acting you're doing, being told that you're not right for the part because you're too skinny, or you're too fat, or you're not the right height.
I'm too fat. I'm too fat.
I know, and that's stupid.
I'm considered too fat sometimes. That's how weird and messed up this industry is. It is not okay sometimes.
No,
and I'll tell you, being a very strong-willed feminist and someone who has like really, really, really strong ideals, I have to turn stuff down. There are certain things that make a lot of money that I just will not do on principle. So it's difficult. It's hard.
And you know what? And we can bring this to the voice acting part. That's what makes voice acting so fun, because you're not cast based on what you look like.
Yes.
We can all play anything from a big, huge, muscle-bound Super Saiyan to a tiny alchemist to a drunk guy to creatures to demons
I was a dog.
Exactly. So
to a half scorpion man.
That's really one of the cool things about voice acting, is it has no basis on your physical type.
That is the reason that I started seeking voice acting. Like, I deliberately made the choice to go for voice work after spending from the time I was 5 years old to about 15, 16 in theater, because I was sick of doing the same roles over and over and over again, just because of my body type. Just because, it's just like, well, you're a big dude, so you are good for comedic relief.
Or the biker.
Or a bad guy, potentially.
I'm always going to be the indie girl next door, the quirky one, not the one you want to date.
Right.
Same. We're in the same bucket, although she's in the slightly prettier bucket. I know I'm gorgeous. I'm just talking about, I know how the industry is and how they section off women. They just do. It stinks. It sucks, but they do. And I know exactly what I fit into, because unfortunately,
you have to be realistic.
Read the breakdowns, and the way they describe women in those breakdowns is shameful. And yeah, and it's always quirky, cute, but not too pretty, approachable, goofy, but like
Liberal arts major.
yeah, like liberal arts major, like graphic artist, you know,
Probably
like
took a
Zoe Deschanel
sociology
type.
class.
Like most of the things I've booked on camera have been because I kind of look like Zoe Deschanel, because I usually wear glasses, and that's it has nothing to do with my talent or my ability. It unfortunately a lot of it is looks, and I think that's part of why a lot of us love voice acting so dang much, is because you get away from that looks focused, obsessed
So one of us is
world.
Captain Kirk.
Yep.
Oh.
And you just get to play. You just like almost all of your acting and everything you're doing at that point is just in here.
Yeah.
And like it's so liberating.
Yeah, it's super liberating.
What's up, Deku?
What's up? So, this is like a question for everyone, I guess. If you could voice anyone else on the show, who would you and why?
Nora!
I could see that.
Nora, absolutely Nora. 100% we have a very similar vocal range, me and Sam.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can do a pretty good Nora, especially if I really focus on it and listen to her right beforehand. I can nail it. But Nora, hands down Nora.
I can do your hello.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Hello. Oh no, is that
Close.
Is that yours? Close. That's Yang. Yang, whenever she walks up to Blake when they're sitting up, hello.
Yeah.
I really like your bow. That's not Yang, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna stop again. I think maybe Emerald, because I think her character's really cool. And at the end of the last volume, I think both her and Mercury's character are starting to show a little bit of depth, and that's pretty exciting.
I could do a pretty good Nora.
Almost, give him a hammer.
I mean, I don't want to do it right now, but I could do it if I wanted to.
Ask me when you want.
No.
No.
I would not bow to your peer pressure. No. I don't know what that was.
I don't want to play any other character. I just want a rematch. Get some tail.
You got a new tail, you can do
Get
it.
some tail.
He's gonna get some tail.
That's a different panel.
Those start around 10 o'clock. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
I think I saw the sign. I think we have time for one more question.
Can we do one more?
Right? Can we do one more? Or no?
Please, just one
No?
more.
Okay.
No, you're saying
Sorry.
no. They're saying no. Sorry.
They're telling us no.
This
Sorry,
is our
sweetie.
panel.
But thank you so much for everybody who came out.
Hope you had a lot of fun.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. Arryn and I will be signing after this, so if you want to come by and you haven't seen us yet, come see us at our booth.
We answer questions occasionally.